I'm going to be putting a video out about head trauma. I have serious TBI, traumatic brain injury, from a cumulative head trauma, and then from the car accident that I got in on November 4th, 2013. I got hit at 72 miles an hour by a car and lived, only because an angel of God put his hand there. But I want to explain to you how the brain works. I used to go train fighters, back 2005, 2006. And I worked out of 3 different gyms, and I had, my whole house was a gym. I had a ring outside. I had heavy bags, speed bags, timing bags, 2-pound dumbbells all the way up to 150-pound dumbbell, hammer strength equipment, leg extension equipment, lat pull down, squat racks. And I used to train dogs, my dogs and a couple other people's dogs that trained for the military. And but the trauma I took to my head from boxing since 10 years old, since playing football, sometimes you get subconcussions, and the sparring I did, especially, I didn't have great genetics. I didn't have genetics like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury can take an awful amount of brain trauma and still show up, the next week in the gym and do fabulous. That wasn't the case with me. I would have a hard sparring session, and I would go home, and for a couple of days after that, I wasn't the same person. I would give you an example. I would wake up and I would not know where I am. I promise to God. I would wake up and I was in, say I lived in Kingston, New York at the time. And I didn't know which city I lived in, where I was, what house I was in, where I seen my dogs. I recognized that I had dogs. But I used to get up at night and, take a piss out the window, throw my 2 TVs out the window, and get up the next morning and ask, where's my TV? And not know where my TV is, and start looking for my TV, and then look on the side of the house, and there on the side of the house was, my TV set, that I threw out. I used to go, 2 o'clock in the morning with my dogs because I couldn't walk them in the daytime. But I would be in a blackout as I'm walking my dogs, and I would carry home these huge pieces of furniture, desks on my back, and have my dogs, pulling objects, home, marble tables. And I lived in a commercial, zoned area. And all the businesses, the tow truck businesses and the body shop repairs and all the other businesses let me go into their dumpsters and retrieve their stuff they threw out. And they threw out some quality stuff. And I ended up being a dumpster diver and basically carrying home stuff. And the next morning looking, going, oh my God, how'd this get here? And then I have to throw it out. And then the sanitation department finally got sick of, me, having to haul off all this heavy stuff that I would find and throw out. And, I never broke the point of my fence. It was like this, the wooden point. I never broke one of those points of the fence throwing an object over. And yet it would take 2 to 3 people to get the object back over the fence, to the trash. And it only took me to throw it over. So I was in this, hyper strength, but not knowing where I was. And sometimes the police used to come and, they used to, put the lights on, and they used to say, "Hey, Vinny, how you doing?" They call me Joe Vinny or Joe or Vinny. And, "Hey, Vinny, what's going on?" And then I would snap to it, and I'm, "Oh, hey, how you doing, sir?" And they go, "Oh, what you got there?" And I say, just a desk or something or whatever I had. I was kind of embarrassed, I used to go all over the neighborhoods. I lived in a black neighborhood that had a lot of crack dealing in it. So a lot of these people would get, sell crack, get arrested. And then the landlord would come in and put all their property on, right to the curb. And I used to, be one of the first people there, at night, picking up TV sets and plasma TV sets and tables and desks and dressers and stereos and DVD players, and they all worked. It was all good stuff. But I was in a blackout doing this. And, one time, I just tell you this one time, the story. I was on parole in New York, right? And I was getting ready to discharge parole. I got assigned a different parole officer. So my senior parole officer and my parole officer were coming to my house to meet me. And I had blacked out for the very first time. I had blacked out. And I had lived in a house that was separate from a garage, that the guy was supposed to rent me the garage also so I could train fighters in the garage. And then he reneged on the garage and still had all his stuff in the garage when I moved in. And I said, hey, what's your stuff doing here? And he's like, oh, I changed my mind about the garage. So I ended up moving in anyway and making a gym upstairs in my house. And, I ended up moving out of there, but I ended up getting the owner of the property evicted from my property because he kept coming on my property all hours of the day and night, and I was getting sick of him. He came into my house a couple of times. My dogs were young; they weren't full-grown dogs yet, and they weren't trained by the military yet. And I had a guy that trained dogs for the CIA train my dogs, so my dogs were dialed in, after they were trained. But this is in the beginning when they were pups, and he used to come in the house and move stuff around and go look through things, and I used to get pissed off at him. So one night I had blacked out, and I had went underneath, it's a couple feet of snow had accumulated, and I would truck through the snow. I went to this garage, and underneath the garage, I would go underneath the garage and take my hammer and hit these joist beams and these like 8-foot, 10-foot beams I used to knock out. And then about 3 of them I had carried into my house. And I took my lat pull down machine and I tried to bring it upstairs, and it got wedged at the top of the stairs. So I couldn't even get down. I had to scoot down on my back under the machine to try to get down the stairs. And I had another machine, a squat rack, put on top of my kitchen, and I had these 3 huge beams with snow all over them in the living room. I said, oh my God, I'm going to get committed. So I hear boom, 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 boom on my door. And it's, of course, my parole officer. And I was like, oh my God, man, they're going to commit me, And I got splinters all my back, my arms got splinters in them from the wood, from knocking the wood out from underneath the garage, carrying all this wood. And, so I scooted down underneath the machine on the staircase and got down, and they go, answer the damn door. And I was like, I'm trying. So I opened the door and I go look at the 3 beams in my living room, and I go, man, I'm going to get committed. And, so what happened was, they came in and they go, what the hell are these, beams doing here? And I said, oh, I'm trying to build a dip rack. They go, where'd you find these? And I said, oh, in the back, backyard in the snow. And, so John Lowe and Jim Kochis were the names. And so Senior Parole Officer Lowe goes, man, hey, James, he's got a machine jammed above the kitchen sink. Come look at this. And he goes, yeah, he's got another one jammed at the top of the stairs. So they go, what the hell is going on with you? Are you mentally all right? And I said, oh yeah, I was just trying to carry the one machine up the stairs and it got stuck, and I was, getting the other machine out of the way, and it got stuck above the sink. No big deal. I'm gonna, fix it up after I, cut these beams for a good dip rack. And they said, well, you got all the right answers, but it's not matching up with what's going on here. But they let it go, and they let me go. And I said, oh my God, man, that was the first time that I had no recollection. I mean, like 3 seconds of recollection of time from that whole night of knocking these beams out with a hammer. The whole garage could have collapsed on me. And I scooted underneath the garage in a couple feet of snow, and then carried these beams through the snow into my house. And I ended up having to throw them out. And that's what happens with brain trauma. I would black out at night and go and carry these large objects or run with my dogs or do sprints with them or, and not remember this. This is the stuff I'm not remembering. I'm bringing home dressers and your baby strollers too, double baby strollers, like, oh wow, I'm really going to get to move things, and these things, these strollers are great, and then I'd have to throw them out the next day, and I could tell you more stories about that, but brain trauma is serious, and I'm going to play a clip of some brain trauma on my next video with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and I'm going to show you the last fight that Mike Tyson had and how he got knocked out by Kevin McBride. And it wasn't even hard punches that Mike Tyson got hit with. Mike Tyson was hitting him with some really hard shots, and he managed to withstand all the shots Mike Tyson threw. And I think in the 6th round was the end of the fight where Kevin McBride, got a flurry on him, and Tyson fell into the ropes. And just after that, when he got up, he said, I don't have it no more. I don't want to fight no more. I'm not a fighter. I hate fighting, and I don't want to do this anymore. And he retired. And I understood, him not wanting to fight anymore, because I got to a point where I was fighting, and then I started to hate it. It became once that you lose that passion, that drive to really compete and want to mess another guy up, and put your stuff together, that you worked on, and keep your chin down and work your jab, and just shoot your hand and hooks and move your head and trap shots and stop them, and it's an amazing situation. But when you lose heart for it, you lose it. It's over. You don't have any more heart for it. Now, Tyson, to his credit, came back in 2020 against Roy Jones Jr., and we give him credit for that. But he didn't look that good. It looked like two old men at a barbecue. Your grandfather's fighting at the barbecue. And I just want to say that I'm going to play a clip from a neurosurgeon, what happens to the brain, trauma during the brain, during one of the clips of the Tyson Jake Paul video. And Tyson needs to be concerned about this, because although he can dish it out possibly almost at 80% of the level he did when he was 20, he can't take it like he did when he was 20. That's my concern for him. All right, thank you very much, and I hope you please like and subscribe. We got an agreement, all right? Even if you don't subscribe permanently, just like and subscribe. It helps my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you like the content I'm putting out, I'm going to put out really great content about a lot of different things, CIA robots and, FISA warrants and Donald Trump and MAGA, and a lot of boxing videos and really good analysis in them. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. That helps me. All right, God bless you guys. Have a great day.